It's a warm spring day here in New Jersey. Yeah, right. It's pretty warm for the middle of December, almost going into winter, and not really sure what that's about, but I don't think we're the only ones that are experiencing that kind of temperature, and I'm not too happy about it. I don't know about the rest of you. A lot of people I know love summer. They hate the winter, they hate the cold, they hate the snow, and they hate everything about it. So I'm one of the few people around here that actually cares about the snow, because I can go out and plow snow and make some money. I'll talk about that later, but since winter's coming in, I surprisingly my workload at school hasn't been as bad as I thought, and I've been just sitting home, really not. I've been trying to find something to do, and I haven't really had a big project to work on. I've been working on the two John Deeres, the 210 and the 316, a little bit here and there, and I'll talk more about those later, probably in another video. And I've been working on my truck a little bit here and there, as you can see. I still have to make an in-depth video of that. I'm sure you guys will want to see it. So I'll have a video of that coming too. But the John Deeres haven't really needed a whole lot of work, since now the mowing season is pretty much done. I mean, the grass probably could be cut again. It hasn't gone completely dormant. It's still green. There's a lot of people that are actually still mowing their lawns, but I said, no, that's enough. I don't need to keep doing it. It's enjoyable, but now it's too late in the year, and I don't care how warm it gets. It's not supposed to be this warm in winter, so I just figured I'll just leave it as it is and not worry about it again. So because of that, I haven't really been able to use the John Deere's too much. I've been running them, keeping the batteries charged up and changing the oil and tuning them up and everything, getting them ready for winter. Or the 316 anyway. I'll talk more about that later. That's my new snow rig. You can see I have the mower deck off of it right here. I got it all cleaned up, and I got all the grass and stuff out from under it. But aside from that kind of stuff, the tractors haven't really needed a whole lot of work. So I've been sitting at home looking for something to do this winter, and I thought about getting another project tractor, just something that I could, buy cheap and fix up and then flip for a good profit. And I actually wasn't expecting to find one so quick, but I ended up getting this little thing. It's a little Craftsman tractor. I had a friend, well, my uncle's friend who lives down the road from here. He used to work on hot rods. He used to drag race and everything, and he was the original owner of this little Craftsman. He bought it new from Sears back in 2001, and he took care of it. I mean, he takes good care of his equipment, but he bought it. He ran it for a long time, and then about 3 years ago he replaced it, and this one just kind of sat, and it started to the battery got drained. It started losing a charge and everything, and he just said, I don't have time to mess with it. I'm just gonna sell it to you. He wanted $150 for it. He said, I just want it gone. And then last week we went over and checked it out, and I looked it over, and I said, well, okay, it's going to need this, this, and this. And he says, well, you know what? I feel bad about that. Just give me $50 for it. And I said, oh, man, I'll take it. So we loaded it up in my truck and brought it back. Actually, we brought it up to my uncle's shop and worked on it there for a little bit. And we put a charge in it, because that was the main problem. He said the only thing wrong with it is the battery doesn't charge. So I figured, oh, that's probably... I've had enough experience with that crap now. I can probably fix it myself. Battery looks pretty dirty. I mean, I'll probably just replace it anyway. That's if you're going to tune something up, that's always a good step to take. But I kept it up in my uncle's shop with the charger, because my grandfather was afraid of driving it home. He thought maybe it would die in the middle of the field or whatever, because I've had that happen plenty of times, unfortunately. So we kept it up there, and I already started tearing it apart and working on it. I kind of wish you guys could have seen it when it was still together, but I've done some important stuff to it, but cosmetically it looks the same. I've just been messing with the motor, actually, but here's just a look at the tractor. I've been putting it in the shed, and it's a really small machine. It's definitely one of the smaller ones I've owned. It's just a little, entry-level tractor from Sears. It is a model, focus, 917.271532. I don't know who the hell came up with that numbering system, but that's the model number of this thing. It is a 14.5 horsepower, 42-inch cut, 6-speed gear drive. And according to the serial number, it was built August 27, 2001. You can't see that, my phone isn't focusing. But so it's a 2001, and I think the earliest ones of these that I've seen are from 98 or 99. But they mass produce these things. They made so many of them. They come in all different colors, all different sizes, and all different model numbers. So it's actually pretty hard to keep track of them. The thing doesn't even have an actual model number. There's nothing on the side of the hood, which is kind of stupid. It's just a Craftsman 14.5 horse, 42-inch deck. Real simple lawn tractor. I never saw myself owning one, but I figured, you know what, I need the cash and I needed a project. I needed something to keep me busy, so I would buy this and just tinker with it a little bit. And I mean, for $50, I couldn't really confuse him. My grandfather was like, "Oh, you should get it." I mean, he knows these things are junk too, but he said, "You know, you should get it, and it would make a good project." And I could probably, where I live, I could probably get about $450 at the most, if I clean it up and really, do it up nice and get it done right. Because there's people willing to pay a pretty penny for anything around here. More people own these types of machines than garden tractors too. So those are, in my area, they're kind of uncommon. And that's why I've had to buy so many of these little lawn tractors. Otherwise, I'd be buying garden tractors all the time. But unlike the rest of you guys out there, I'm nowhere near as fortunate enough to be able to bring home a bunch of John Deere garden tractors, because you just can't find them around here. And the ones you can find are being heavily used. Actually, a 68 110 square fender with a 43 blade popped up for sale right down the street from my house last week, and within a day it was sold. So that's, or I think it was sold. The Craigslist ad disappeared, so I don't know if maybe it sold that quick or he gave it away to someone or what happened. But that just goes to show you, like, he was asking $500 for it too. All it came with was a plow, no deck, no weights, no chains, nothing. So that just goes to show you. I wouldn't pay $500 for that thing anyway. But it just goes to show you how uncommon these things are. And, sometimes someone will snatch it up, but I actually don't think that one sold. I think something happened and he had to take it down, or he decided to keep it. But usually it would sit up for months on Craigslist. So that's why I don't buy garden tractors as much as I'd like to. That's why I had to get my 210 out of Maryland, and I had to get the 316 out of Pennsylvania. But anyway, back to this Craftsman. You guys, I'm just trying to give you a walk around of it so you can see it. Basic little machine. I kind of wish I could have made a video while it was at the shop and we were tearing it apart, but you get the idea. I was kind of pissed off at it too, because ever since we got it home, it decided it doesn't want to start and run, which I'm pissed off about. And because it was running good. I mean, besides the battery draw, it was running. When we had it running at my buddy's place, or at my uncle's friend's place, the guy who had it before, when he had it running over there, all he had to do was put it on the charger, and it started right up after sitting since July or August or whenever it was run last. And it started up and ran pretty good. I mean, I only heard it run for a few minutes, but it seemed like it ran pretty good. And it drove and everything worked. And when we get it home and it decides not to start, so that's just the kind of luck I have with these machines. I'm not too happy about that, but I've been working on it here and there. My uncle helped me with it while I was up in his shop, with just stuff that I can't do, or that I'm not very good at. Like, this is one of the overhead valve Briggs & Stratton IC motors. This is a 14.5 horsepower model. This isn't the first one that I've had. This is the third IC motor that I've had. My John Deere 111 parts tractor had one on it, but I never tore into it. That was seized up. I just kind of sold it. And then the little red Murray or Yard King that I had a 12 horsepower model, but that wasn't an overhead valve. That was a flathead. But the overhead valve is not new to me. The LA150 had an overhead valve V-twin, so that wasn't anything new. And one thing that I noticed was it was very hard to turn over. Like, you turn the key, it would turn a little bit at a time. You have to keep lifting off the key and keep hitting it again to get it to spin. So I figured, the automatic compression release is probably locked up. So that was the first major thing we did. We pulled the valve cover off, and you can see it's got the gasket in there is bad. I have to replace that at some point, but it's leaking oil and everything all over the place. But we adjusted the valves first, and that really helped it, because now when it's on the charger, obviously it spins over nice and easy. It doesn't lock up. So that was one thing, and that actually eliminated one of the problems that I thought would have caused it not to start. I thought maybe it bent one of the valve push rods or something like that, but we pulled the valve cover off and turned the flywheel, and the valves were opening and closing as they are supposed to do, so that eliminated that possibility. We were just trying to troubleshoot and figure out why it wouldn't start. The spark plug had no gap. The end of the spark plug was bent in, so I cleaned it up, I wire brushed it and gapped it correctly and then popped it back in. I'm going to replace it anyway, though. I don't think an Autolite spark plug for the Briggs motor is the best option. I might just put a Champion in it. I have a few of those sitting around, but I adjusted the gap on the spark plug. I also took the coil off and adjusted the gap on the magnet. It should be about 0.010 of an inch. I think I might need to go back and look at that again. When I had that John Deere LT1000 with the 13 horse Kohler, it was set up just like this. They were all these low end motors are all set up basically the same way. It was set up just like this, so it was just cranking and wouldn't start until I set the coil. I replaced the coil and set the gap, and that fixed it. It was getting spark. I set the gap again, and it gets plenty of spark. Now that we cleaned the spark plug up and everything, it gets plenty of spark. We pulled the wire and the plug out and touched it to the frame, and it was sparking like it should. And it was a good spark too, so it's getting spark. The fuel filter was plugged up, so I replaced it with this one, and I put a piece of Tygon on there, which is ethanol resistant or non-corrosive fuel line. It doesn't rot away with the ethanol gas, the crap that they run in these things these days. So that was the next step, and it's definitely getting fuel from the tank. There's nothing plugged up in the line. It's just got this tiny little tank. I think it's like a 2-gallon or something. The gas cap vent I think is plugged, but I was cranking it with the cap off, so the gas tank was vented and it still wouldn't start, so that possibility is out. All the safety switches work because obviously if they didn't work the thing wouldn't even turn over. And it has this little Nicky carburetor on it with an anti-backfire solenoid, which is kind of strange for something like this, but I guess all these newer ones have them now. I'm thinking maybe this is bad. I'll have to see. I have to keep looking at it and testing it out. It's either that solenoid needs to be replaced. I mean, it was running, so the carburetor can't be that bad. I don't think it's probably gummed up, but it's not so bad that it won't run. So I'm going to replace the anti-backfire solenoid here, and the only other possibility that I've determined is that the flywheel key sheared off, which seems to be a fairly common problem with these. I pull the flywheel screen off, and sometimes what happens is the key that holds the flywheel to the crankshaft shears off, and the flywheel spins out of time. And because the flywheel is magnetized, that's what creates the spark for the plug, and it obviously throws it out of time. And that would make sense because what it does is when it cranks, it backfires. It backfires through the carburetor, even with a full charge and getting gas and spark and all that. So I think it's still a timing issue. I have to keep looking at it. But that's probably the best, my best guess. I just have to get a gear puller to pull the flywheel off and replace that key. And I have to get the right size key because they use a really tiny crankshaft key. I don't think it's like a normal size. But I hear that timing issue, the sheared key, is a common problem with these little Briggs motors. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the cause. But this thing has just puzzled me. I'm really hoping that's the fix because the coil is good. It's got plenty of spark. It's getting gas into the carburetor, and it has plenty of compression too. I mean, we even sprayed ether starting fluid into the carburetor, and the thing still wouldn't fire. Every once in a while, it would backfire through the carburetor, so it was definitely getting fuel. So it's got to be a timing issue if it's backfiring like that. So I'm going to have to pull that and get a gear puller, pull the flywheel off, and align the key again. So that's that. I've got all the little parts. Like there's the flywheel cover, as you can see. It's in real good shape. This, like I said before, this is an overhead valve IC motor as opposed to the flathead one that I had in the past. There's the air cleaner and some bolts. Here's the air intake or air shroud, whatever you want to call it. It bolts above the motor, bolts around the gas tank. And then there's the hood. I'm not sure if the headlights work. I think on these machines, the headlights only work if the motor's running. I don't know why they do that, but I haven't tested them to see if the bulbs work. But the hood's in good shape. It's not cracked or broken or anything. And it still looks good. The decals are all there and everything. I do kind of wish they had a specific model for these, because they don't. You just have to go off the model on the serial number plate. Here's some spare belts and stuff. Some of them are new. This looks like a crappy aftermarket one, so this probably isn't too good. I'm not even sure what these belts are for. I mean, I doubt the transmission drive belt is going to need to be replaced, because it was running and driving fine. They're probably just spare mower deck belts and stuff that he took out of the package. But he just went to the back corner of his shop and said, "Here, take these belts. These are for it. These are a couple spares." So if a belt like the mower deck belt needs to be replaced, I'll put one of the other belts on. The tractor itself is in pretty good shape. The motor's just pissing me off, but I gotta fix an oil leak. I think it's coming from this valve cover or something. You can see it's leaking down onto the muffler there. So I'll have to fix that. I'll replace the valve cover gasket. The pressure washer, it hasn't been cleaned in a while. I'll get the pressure washer out and get all the grease and stuff off of it, clean it up real nice. Change the oil and all that. This has a right-handed mower deck lift like the Cub Cadets and a lot of the other ones did. It's a 42-inch deck with a mulch plug, and he cut the discharge chute so it could fit inside his fence. But with this mulch plug on it, that's pretty much pointless. I don't think he's ever had the plug off of it either. So this is really just for mulching grass. I mean, you can see all the grass that's plugged up in there. But like I said, he cut the discharge chute so it could fit through his gate. That looks to be in pretty good shape. Some of the paint's peeling off, but I actually have not tested the PTO because I haven't had the thing running, so I don't know if it... I'm sure it works. I don't know how the bearings and the deck pulleys are though, so I'll have to check that. It's got a manual PTO, as you can see. It's a lot different than your usual manual PTO. It's this big lever that you just slide up and over like that. Interesting design, really. Low back seat, batteries under the seat like you guys saw. Pretty light tractor. It's got pretty good steering, actually. It's not like a cheap setup. It uses a good heavy duty front axle, and it's greasable too, so it steers pretty easy. It's got this stupid throttle and choke. Here's your throttle. You push it up to there for wide open, and then push it all the way up for choke. I still don't understand why they set them up like that. All the new ones are like that. But it's not good to start at full throttle. I mean, the engine gets fuel, but you don't want to start it cold at full throttle, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's how you wear these motors out prematurely. Here's your ignition switch. Mower deck lift, like I said, it's got 6 positions. And then this has here's your clutch or brake pedal, whatever you want to call it. Here's a parking brake lock down here. And it actually works too. Here's your transmission, warning labels and stuff. It's a 6-speed. I'm not sure which kind of transmission it has though. I'll have to look that up. It's probably like a Spicer or something cheap. But here's neutral. You got reverse and then 1 all the way to 6. I haven't had it running, like I've said already, so once I get it running, it should be kind of neat to drive around, because this is different than a traditional gear drive setup. A lot of Murrays were like this too. So yeah, that's basically the whole tractor. I mean, it's nothing special, nothing crazy. It's just a basic little Craftsman tractor. A lot of people own these. They mass produce these things, so they're a dime a dozen. And I said, you know what, it may be a piece of crap, but for $50, what could go wrong? So I'll get started around Christmas break when I have some time. I'll air the tires up a little. The tires don't look too bad. They have some good tread, and they actually seem to be holding air. because I haven't had to blow up any flats. I'll just air the tires up a little bit more, and I'll maybe put some tubes in them. I'll give this whole thing a good cleaning. I'll take the pressure washer, clean all the grease and stuff off of it, and I still have to figure out what to do to get this motor to run. But like I said earlier, it's probably just a flywheel key sheared off, and that'll throw the timing off, so I just have to figure out how to fix that. Replace the valve cover gasket and keep the oil from leaking. Pressure wash the entire thing. I'll probably replace that anti-backfire solenoid. As for the electrical problem, it could be a bad battery. I'll start there. It's you know, it's not going to hurt it if I have a new battery and new electrical components either, because that just adds to the value of it. I can sell it for more. Where I live, I could probably, like I said earlier, I could probably get like 400 or even 450 for it if I tried. But I'd have to do, you know, a bit of work. I have to make it look presentable, tune it up and all. I might undercoat the mower deck and sharpen the blades. It's just a little 2-blade deck. But yeah, I kind of wish I could start it up and drive it around for you, but I actually have to run an extension cord out here with my battery charger, keep this thing charged up and see what I can do with it. But yeah, this is my winter project. It's sort of it turned into more of a project than I expected. I kind of wish it wouldn't act up like it's been doing, but I just need to tinker with it a little bit more, and I should be able to get the thing running. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I've been really busy with stuff. I haven't had time, aside from school, I haven't had a whole lot of schoolwork. Like I said, that's why I wanted another project. But outside of school, I've been with family functions, getting ready for Christmas and stuff like that. I haven't had a lot of time, and I still need to make a video on my truck and the other 2 tractors. So yeah, I'm a little out of it today, but hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is my next project, and I'm looking forward to working on it. I mean, it should make an easy buck if I can get it fixed up and sold and get it running good and everything. Yeah, just, it's testing my patience though. But it shouldn't take much work to get it running, so I just have to find time to work on it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned. I'll probably have some more coming in the future.